Okay, we're going out live to the whole of Australia. So if you want to, I think the link is actually on our website, but probably don't go onto it here because otherwise you'll suck all of our Wi-Fi and we won't be able to go out. So we've got comrades out in Condobolin, St Joseph's in Condobolin. The school is closed down and they're out today, so welcome to them. We've got people out at Broken Hill, Bathurst, Dubbo, Wagga Wagga, down the south coast. They're meeting at Nowra. That's it. Who have we got here? Have we got people from Broken Bay Diocese? Woy Woy is on strike. Actually, yes, they're meeting at Woy Woy. Broken Bay, where's Broken Bay? Hey, we've got a couple in Broken Bay. Parramatta Diocese. Hey. Okay, and Sydney Diocese. Sensational. Have we got anyone from the Wollongong come up? Yeah, we've got a couple here.
Same as before, let's pack them round the back.
Let's bring them on down, people. Come out of there. Get away from the trams. We've got to stop the trams in about 20 minutes. We don't want to stop them now. Come on down so you get on the cameras. We're going out to the whole of the state. Any language teachers here today? French teachers, bonjour. Canadian teachers, bonjour. Who else have we got? Have we got any Tas teachers here? Primary teachers. What a great turnout. Secondary. Yes, excellent. Any Italian teachers? Ciao. Good. Excellent. History teachers. Great, good to see. Teachers of children. Underpaid teachers. Sensational. Yeah, can we bring everybody out of that walkway? Come, there's heaps of room down the back here. We need everyone away from the t-shirts. Come right down, please. If you want to get on TV, surely. Okay, yep. All right, we might just go do a couple of start-up cheers just to see how people are going. Some trains are running late, but the trains are free today, thanks to the RBTU. Okay, Catholic employers, make the choice. Salary justice, hear our voice. Catholic employers, make the choice. Salary justice, hear our voice. Catholic employers, make the choice. Salary justice, hear our voice. Stop us walking out the door, pay better than 204. Stop us walking out the door, pay better than 204. What do we want? More RFF. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Time to teach. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. Okay. Sydney Catholic Schools, get real. Give us a fair deal. Sydney Catholic Schools, get real. Give us a fair deal. Okay. Support staff want pay parity. When do they want it? Now. Where's our support staff members? Hey. Support staff want pay parity. When do they want it? Now. Okay. What do we want? Respect for support staff. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Respect for support staff. When do we want it? Now. Okay. Our support staff, the best on earth. Time to pay them what they're worth. Our support staff, the best on earth. Time to pay them what they're worth.
If we could push them around again, it'd be fantastic.
Keep coming around, please, people. Nobody, I don't want anyone on the other side of this tree. Move now.
We might have to get some of these people to shuffle around.
Yeah, a few of you people just squeeze on in there. Nobody, no one in a yellow shirt the other side of that line. Quickly.
There's more coming, mate. Have we got anyone here that's a marshal? We know their names?
Oh, yeah. I should give them their... Yeah, they get Helen to give them out to our stuff. What do we got there? More than 1, 2, 3. We want 5%. That's what we want. Oh. Sorry? Yeah, go for it. Okay. Hello. Okay. Come on up. I've just spied in the crowd the great Linda Scott, who was former Deputy Mayor of Sydney, and she's going to come up here and say a few words.
Teachers rule. Thank you so much for everything that you do. But is thanks enough? Is thanks enough? No, you have worked so hard to educate our children and to care for them for too long, and thanks is not enough. I want to be here with you today as the Labor councillor here at the City of Sydney to say we stand with you. We support your calls for fair pay and conditions. You deserve so much more than thanks. Thank you for all you do, but it is not enough. And I want to say that I am proud to stand with you today at this very important rally to support your calls to this state government to get more than thanks. Thank you.
What do we want? Pay parity. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Pay parity. When do we want it? Now. Thank you for our support staff. Now we've got Auntie Rowena here. No, sorry, Yvonne. Sorry.
Let's just do one more push around.
Can we have one more surge this way, please? Anyone in a yellow shirt? Come on down, please. This way, the other side of this tree. So. Sorry, Yvonne, you want to come on up? So we've got Yvonne here to welcome us to this great land. Thank you.
Hello, sisters and brothers, gender neutral and gender fluid. My name is Yvonne Weldon and I'm a Wiradjuri woman from Cowra here in New South Wales. I'm from the waters of the Clare, which later became known as the Lachlan, and of the Murrumbidgee Rivers. I'm the Deputy Chairperson of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, who are the culture authority under the Aboriginal Land Rights Act for the land we're on. I would like to pay my respects to all elders past and present, to all First Nations, to you and the ancestors' lands you travelled from. The boundaries of our traditional owners are not defined by the hand or by the pen, but through the natural landscapes of the earth. The Eora Nation's country covers the Hawkesbury River in the north, the Nepean in the west, and the Georges River in the south. On behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, the elders and the members, I welcome everyone to the land of the Gadigal. I acknowledge the Gadigal people whose spirits and ancestors will always remain with this land, our Mother Earth. Across this beautiful continent there are hundreds of nations, tribes and clans existing here for over 65,000 years. My people are the oldest living culture of the world. We all thank you for your hard work that you provide on behalf of all of us. You deserve more than just thanks. You need to be given what you are worth. We stand with you. Again, on behalf of the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, welcome to Gadigal land. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Thank you.
Thanks, Yvonne, and a shout out to St. Raphael's at Cowra, who are on strike today. Okay, let's we move on to our the President of the IEU, Christine Wilkinson. So give a big warm welcome for Christine Wilkinson, your President.
Good morning and a very warm welcome. This is an incredible sight. Sea of yellow. And can you all hold your signs up and let's see all of the schools that you're from. It's just amazing. And yellow today symbolises optimism and hope. So today we can do it. Together we can make change. And I hope that everyone here is going to keep thinking about change, because that's exactly what teachers want. We want teachers to be paid what they deserve. We want a fair deal for all of our wonderful, wonderful support staff. All support staff, put your hands up. Amazing, amazing work. Thank you. We need to put an end to the casual teaching strife that we're in at the moment. Teachers are being asked to do more and more because we cannot get teachers to come into our profession. Teaching is a profession, and teachers here, we love to teach. We don't want to do all of that extra work that we're being asked to do. Data collection, administration, standing in the middle of classrooms and babysitting up to 70 students because we cannot get casual staff. This must end, and we have to let people know about that. So, as we move on, let's think about, we're going to look at hope. We hope today that all of our voices are heard by the state government and by our employers. And let's look forward to an optimistic future. Thank you again for your attendance today, and let's keep fighting the good fight, because you are the union, we are here for you, and we will always support your work in the schools. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you to our brass players. Okay, we've got 11 dioceses out today. Let's do a shout out to Armidale Diocese. Armidale, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Armidale, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Armidale, get real. Okay, we've got a couple of teacher members who are going to be speaking to us. So is Tina around? Where's Tina? Here comes Tina. So I'd like to invite Tina to the stage.
What a fantastic sight. I pay my respects to the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I am a visitor on their land. My name is Tina Ruello. I have been a high school teacher for over 30 years. I work for CEDP. I know, don't hold it against me, I know where we've been and I know where we're going. And it's not a good place if we don't make changes now. Before I begin, I also want to acknowledge that the CEDP chapter and the CEDP councillors are giving us their support and are in solidarity with us here today. We are bleeding teachers. Our schools are hemorrhaging. And the reason why is because of our current pay and our horrendous workloads. We need an injection of more money and more time. This could very well staunch the bleed out. Statistically, it is often reported, and I'm quoting this, it is often reported that 50% of teachers leave the profession within the first 5 years. These are not my words. This is from the NESA's report of attrition of graduate teachers of 2020. They say it already. We feel it. I worry about our younger teachers. I worry that if they have not already, they have become disillusioned, resentful, cynical. Let me say, goodbye to work-life balance if you are a teacher. As an older experienced teacher, I cannot allay their concerns to say to them that things in teaching will get better. Stick it out. Things don't decrease in our workload, they increase. They increase with no takeaways. I am struggling myself, and I've been teaching for over 30 years. What confidence can I give to those younger teachers that when you reach that last step of the pay scale in 9 years' time, your pay flatlines. It's stuck in the mud forever. You will sit on that for the rest of your teaching career. That while you are a professional in all sense of the word, educated, university trained, academic, intelligent, articulate, you are not paid like other professionals outside of education. That our employers are banking on the premise that you went into teaching for the love of it. And that love cannot be quantified. Our employer does not want to acknowledge our true value. We are still the critical workers. We are still the frontline workers we were 2 years ago. Now we're just louder and angrier. We are teachers who are overworked, over incentives, over compliance. Just give us time. In secondary schools, we are asking for 2 hours. 2 hours of release time. 2 hours to plan awesome lessons. To complete marking during school hours. To read, to research, to expound our minds and our students. It is our time. It is not time directed by principals in some paternalistic manner that we know how to use your time better than you do. So I want to tell our employer that we have had enough. Enough platitudes. Enough praise. Enough feel-good emails. I will pass on mine to you in duplicate. Enough cheap and nasty ways. Enough excuses. We're putting you on notice. This may be the first industrial action I've taken in a long time, but it will not be the last. Let's hear our voices.
Thanks, Tina. We're going out to Canberra-Goulburn Diocese. Canberra-Goulburn, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Canberra-Goulburn, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Canberra-Goulburn, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Forbesville, can you get real? Pay us a fair deal. Forbesville, can you get real? Pay us a fair deal. Have we got Anna Ludi out there? Come on up, Anna Ludi. Primary school teacher from North Sydney. St. Mary's, North Sydney.
Hi. Welcome, fellow IU members and supporters. What an incredible view. Thank you for coming out today. Even though we are here to shout, hear our voice, all teachers know that today is not really about us. It's about our students. Aristotle spoke of what he called telos. Telos is the ultimate purpose of a thing. The telos of a knife is to cut. The telos of a doctor is to heal. And the telos of a teacher is to? Teach. Yes, thank you. Teach students. That's why we are here. When something drifts away from its telos and becomes about something else, things begin to fall apart. First and foremost, teachers are here to serve students, not to serve data walls or NAPLAN scores. No, not to serve the latest pedagogical fad or educational textbook for teaching and learning that tells us to yet complete another teaching and learning rubric. We are not here to serve our school's annual improvement plan or the coordinator's implementation plans. We are not here to serve the CEO of our diocese or the Archbishop. We are not here to serve the NESA teaching standards. We are here for students. Our beloved profession has been completely swallowed up by accountability measures. Measures which show how much we're doing without doing the most important thing, connecting with the students in our care. We are being crushed by data collection and documentation, and therefore we barely have time to check in with our students because we need to move on with our learning intention and success criteria. And God forbid, we do not stick to the schedule. At this point, we are just measuring growth on every metric we possibly can, and the more we measure, the less time we have to dedicate to that which is most important, our kids. For myself and for most teachers, that's how we think of them, our kids. We shouldn't have to fight so hard to get a fair deal. Treating each other with love, compassion, and respect is one of the core values and tenets of our Catholic faith. Catholic education should be the envy of all and attract the best and brightest teachers from everywhere desperate to work in the Catholic system. But today is an opportunity for Catholic education to reconnect with its core values and rediscover the high standards it once set for itself. We haven't lost ours. We care too much for our students to even take a sick day, because that would mean students with learning difficulties and behavioral needs would not have a good day. So we sacrifice our own physical and mental health to help our students. But this practice of self-sacrifice has become so unsustainable, it cannot continue. Speaking of wanting a fair deal, support staff, the angels of our schools, yes, thank you, who make everything run smoothly, who support the whole system, they should get pay parity with support staff in the government schools. Of course they should. Support staff are everything to everyone, all of the time. Diminish them and you take the wheels off the system. Look after them and our kids will grow and flourish. We chose to be teachers. Not one of us is here for the money. It is not about earning more money, it's about not going backwards. Australia just voted in a federal election on this issue. Australians agree overwhelmingly that wages should keep up with inflation. Do we want teaching to be of such low value that teachers can't even afford to pay rent? No, we don't. Young teachers have long ago given up the dream of owning their house. I know I have. Unbelievable, unacceptable, shameful. Let us hope that with this industrial action our voice will be heard. We don't want to be here today. We want to be teaching our kids. Catholic education must hear our voice today. There is no other option. If they don't, we'll be back. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Great sign out there. Teacher burnout is why we have this turnout. Teacher burnout is why we have this turnout. Teacher burnout is why we have this turnout. Thank you. Let's have a shout out to the Lismore Diocese. Lismore, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Lismore, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Lismore, get real. Pay us a fair deal. I'd like to make a warm welcome for our federal oh no, we've got Michael Hagan. Another teacher. Another great teacher. Come on, Michael. Michael Davis, sorry. Come on, Michael. Cheers.
Wow. What an impressive group of people you are. Congratulations. I'm a retired teacher. I retired 12 years ago. Back then, the paperwork was just beginning to bury us. You have been buried. I feel for you. I respect everything that you do. I have this feeling that the CER does not respect you. I have this feeling that the CER only respects people in power. They don't respect teachers. You know who does respect you? Your students. Who respects you? The parents. Most of them. There's always exceptions. I think one of the most important things about respect is self-respect. And to see you all here today, you respect yourselves, you respect your profession, you respect your union, you respect who you are. I commend you. You're wonderful people. Keep up the fight. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Shout out to the Wagga Wagga Diocese. Wagga Wagga, get real. Pay us a fair deal. Wagga Wagga, get real. Pay us a fair deal. I'd like you to make a warm welcome for our Federal Secretary, Christine Cooper.
Oh, wow, look at you. IEU, yay! I am so honoured and privileged to stand with you. What a see, when you see it, stand up here and see the yellow, it is fantastic. Well done, well done. I'm standing, and I acknowledge that I'm standing on the lands of the Gadigal people and the Eora Nation. And this is land that's never been ceded. And I pay my respects to the elders, the emerging, the present leaders, for they are our future and our present. But I also support the Uluru Statement of the Heart and everything that it offers us. Support the enshrining of the First Nations people's voices in the constitutions, and accept that invitation to walk together for a better Australia. And colleagues, folks, members, I acknowledge you. I am so proud to stand here and look at this yellow sea. Your determination for respect, your determination for action from employers and governments is just so encouraging. You know, for too long, teachers and support staff have been expected to just give. Paper over the cracks and just keep on giving. But no more. No more. You say it with me? No more. No more. No more. Across the country, independent education union members in every state are attempting or commencing their negotiations with their employers. And you know what's common to all of you? You're being pushed to breaking point. IEU members are exhausted. They're struggling with workloads, inadequate planning time, and they're struggling everywhere with teacher shortages. They're struggling with inadequate and inequitable classification structures for our support staff. And it's not good enough. They're not receiving the salary recognition that's required. They're not receiving the respect. And across the country, IEU members are not being supported by their employer. They're not being supported by the governments. But members, colleagues, IEU members across the country are supporting you. And the rest of the 75,000 members in the country are sending you messages of support. And I've got them here to read out. Not 75,000. Okay, let's start with the Independent Education Union of Victoria and Tasmania. Your colleagues, now this branch is also negotiating with Catholic employers. They're also pushing back on salary caps. They're also demanding time release and workload lifting. Your colleagues in Victoria and Tasmania congratulate you on the stand you're taking today. It takes courage and determination, but your employers have left you with little choice but to walk out. You deserve a fair pay outcome. You need the time to do your job effectively. It's time to cut out the paperwork and the unnecessary administration that clogs up your day and eats into the time that you need to properly plan and prepare. That's true, so true. And as we know, teachers are turning away from the profession in droves. And it's no wonder that's happening. Staff are feeling undervalued, workloads are punishing, and yet people are constantly called on to do even more. It's got to stop. Your employers need to hear your voice. Be prepared to show that they're listening and taking your issues seriously. Right now, you're the ones fighting for the future of the profession and the quality education in the schools, while employers treat you with contempt and take you for granted. So, it's time to raise your voices loud and have those employers' ears ringing with the messages that you're sending. It's time for the fair deal, and never forget, the workers united never be defeated. We have a message from the Queensland Northern Territory members. They're congratulating you for taking decisive action in your campaign for wage increases and show respect for work that we do. And asking for meaningful intervention on this horror of workloads and work intensification. In striking, you are striking back on the false assurances of Catholic employers on these fundamental issues. The real action is needed, and you're demonstrating that you are a union of strength and action. South Australia's members send their respects. Hey, it's time to come to not be taken for granted. The SA branch applauds your stand to control increasing work demands and the demand for meaningful wage increases. It's time to make some noise, don't we know it, and let the community and the employers know your grievances and your determination to resolve them. And finally, from the West. Now, the West Australian Catholic members, the members in the Catholic schools in Western Australia, their employer walked away from the negotiations. Their employer put to them a take it or leave it agreement and said, go vote. So they did. They voted no. Their message to you, to the strong and brave comrades in New South Wales and ACT, don't give up. The West is backing you all the way. Catholic teachers and support staff in WA are wishing you buckets load of solidarity. The standards we walk by are the standards we accept. Western Australian members stand with you as you stand up for better conditions and fight for quality education. and for fair and decent wages and conditions. We know you're at your limit. We know we are here, but let you know that they are here to push you on in spirit. You deserve better. We all deserve better. Solidarity from the WA IEU members. Members, to finish, this is not a simple moment in time. This is not just a Friday morning walk in the park. This is not just about one cohort of teachers and support staff. This is about the future of education, about quality education in Catholic schools. It's about quality education across the country. So, listen up, employers. Listen up, governments. Education is in a crisis. Hear the voice today. And if you don't, we're going to fight on, hey? Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. A shout out to the great union towns of Newcastle and Wollongong who are on strike today. A big shout out too also from our the General Secretary of the PSA, Stuart Little, sends us a message. A big shout out to all teachers and support staff in the independent education sector. The PSA stands with you shoulder to shoulder in getting fairness to you and all your members. Well done today. And don't forget that the PSA spent 6 long years getting their pay increases for their support staff, and we've been at it for the last 3 years. So these things take time and they take effort. Can I introduce you to your Secretary of the New South Wales ACT branch, Mr. Mark Northam.
Can I commence today by acknowledging that we're meeting on the lands of the Gadigal people and pay my respects to their elders, both past and present. This is an enormously comforting sight because employers doubted that we could pull this off. I have to tell you, you're making history. Right around New South Wales and the ACT, there's a huge rally underway in Canberra. Newcastle, I've had the police on the phone trying to explain to me why I said 350 and there's double that on the street. What a problem, what a problem. We've got our colleagues on the streets in Wollongong. We've got a gathering in Bathurst. We've got an unexpectedly large crowd in Dubbo. There's only one trouble with the Lennox Head Bowling Club today. They can't fit enough of our members inside. They're also filling up at the Westport Club at Port Macquarie. And our colleagues in Tamworth are joining in droves. And last but not least, our members are filling up the mighty pub in Wagga. And just so we get our ears in, what do we do when teachers and support staff are under attack? Stand up, fight back. What do we do when teachers and support staff are under attack? Stand up, fight back. Righto, that's what we're going to do today because it has to be done. And the reason it has to be done is simple. What we first need is pay parity with our government school colleagues for support staff. It is absurd. I can assure you that about 60 hours of meetings took place in a large room next to my office. And after 60 hours of meetings, they determined that the work that support staff officers do in Catholic systemic schools, it's the same as government schools. Now, who would think what we've got to do is get that money across? That money is between 5 and 11%, and we'll pull it across the table. I also want to talk about the heartbreaking calls that we get of primary school teachers standing between two classrooms with a door open and monitoring two classes at once. Who's done that? Righto. That is not education. That is monitoring students. That the only way it can be described is monitoring at best. I've got an organiser of the union over on my right, and I just want to ask you a question, James. How many students were in that English class in the school that you visited yesterday? There's the answer, 66. 66 kids in one room. This situation is out of control. And by being here today, you're sending a very clear signal to Catholic employers and the New South Wales State Perrottet government that a 2.5% salary cap is the biggest wet blanket that's going across New South Wales. It does not work. That 2.5% salary cap must go. I want to talk about what you guys do when there's bushfires. I want to talk about what you guys do when there's pandemics. I want to talk about the recent floods up on the North Coast and the pride that you take in keeping those schools operational. Day in, day out, 9 o'clock, the school's working. And I can tell you what, the parent groups, they see up close what you do, and we've had emails of support from parent groups, and we've had email support from various P&F groups. They know what you do, and for the first time there's something absent in the press. And what's absent in the press is a Catholic employer voice that's coming out and speaking out against this. They know that it has to be fixed. We need a significant pay rise. We've seen our colleagues in state schools march, and there's a message from Angelo Gavrolatos here. When I can find it. New South Wales Teachers Federation, Angelo Gavrolatos sends us this message. The New South Wales Teachers Federation stands in solidarity with all members of the IEU. Angelo goes on to say, we are well past words. We have a profession in crisis. Both teacher unions recognise that crisis, but there's also crisis in all public servant groupings across New South Wales. They are doing the hard yards as well. What we get, this union gets, is rents are going up, mortgages are heading up, groceries are heading up, fuel is definitely heading up, and we know that inflation's running at about this number. The offer on the table is a fraction over that number. It's not good enough. And not good enough. 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 I'll finish on a couple of points, and these are important points. The number of teachers in teacher training in Australia, across all of its manifestations, has plummeted by some 30%. The teacher supply pipeline is in crisis. We've got to get these pay rises. You've got to get additional time release. They've got to be phased in, and it's got to start happening pretty quickly. We're going to finish up here today shortly, but we need to do a few more chants. What do we do when teachers and support staff are under attack? We fight back. What do we do when teachers and support staff are under attack? Fight back. What do we do when teachers and support staff are under attack? Righto, let's get up to Polling House. There'll be some arrangements around this. Please listen in, and we'll be back on the chance, but we have an incredibly important speaker before we move away. Mr. Mark Morey from Unions New South Wales, the peak union group in New South Wales, is going to address this rally.
How are we going? How about we make some noise? You're on strike. When I say union, you say power. Union. 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 I can't believe I'm standing here at another strike. When nurses, teachers, paramedics and cleaners are on the street, you know there's something wrong. They'll frame this as a greedy grab by teachers. 10 years, 10 long years of wage suppression. And we get to a point where CPI is 5% and you cannot afford to live in the areas you teach in. You cannot buy a house in the areas you teach in. It is a disgrace. But this is more than just about money. It's about three other things. It's about workload. Too much work. Not enough hours. This is a system run on the back of the goodwill of teachers and admin staff. Well, I reckon today you're telling them the goodwill's run out. The second thing this is about, it's about retention of teachers. Qualified teachers, qualified administration staff, people who actually know how to do their job. And your employer knows in the next 5 to 10 years there's going to be a 15% shortfall in teachers in your sector. So what do? Hand up a pay cut. You're not fighting for a pay rise, you're fighting to stop a pay cut. And the final thing this dispute's about, it's about one word: respect. When the fires raged in New South Wales, what were the most important community centres in our community? The schools. When we had floods, who were the most important people? Who were the most important community centres? And we seem to have brushed over the last 2 years of a pandemic, when teachers were required to leave and go online to teach. There was no complaining. You just did it. You did it professionally. You did it competently. And when the virus was still raging and the clowns up in Macquarie Street decided everyone had to come back, who came back first? That's right. You are leading. So every time they say this is about pay, you tell them it's not about pay. It is about workload, retention of schools teachers, and respect. Now there's only one question left to answer. Are you going to keep campaigning? Are you going to keep striking? Are you going to win? I can't hear you. Are you going to win? Are you going to win? I say union, you say power. Union, union, union. Keep coming at them.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, I hope our boys in blue are all ready over there. We're going to march off, but before we do, if there's any spare T-shirts over here, I want everyone to take a spare one. We don't want to have to take anything back to the office. So please pick up a spare one for your colleagues who are yet to join your union. Potential members, as we call them. We're going to march out this way. We're going to march down to Liverpool Street, and Mark Northam is going to read out our motion, and we're all going to endorse that motion outside the offices of the Catholic Employers in Liverpool Street. Pick up a T-shirt. Get your chants going. I don't think we've had a shout out to Parramatta. So Parramatta employers, make the choice. Parramatta employers, hear our voice. Parramatta employers, make the choice. Parramatta employers, hear our voice. Moving out this way. Pick up T-shirts. Keep your chants going. Take any of these boards down the front. Pick up one of those and take it with you. What do we want? Salary justice. When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Christine, can you grab you got a megaphone? Pick up the T-shirts on your way out that way. Sir, you want to grab a megaphone? Stop us walking out the door. Pay better than 204. Stop us walking out the door. Pay better than 204. Stop us walking out the door. Pay better than 204. What do we want? Time to teach. When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Good to see ya. Shout out to all our Jewish schools, all our Islamic schools. Shout out to all our early childhood teachers and support staff. Shout out to the bunnies. Hey, come on. What do we got there? My teacher mum works too hard. Just look at her. Ah, she looks happy though. Thanks for coming, champ. What do we want? Time to teach. When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Keep moving. Grab a T-shirt. We don't want to take anything back. Please, take a T-shirt. Yeah, go for your life.